Hi again, and welcome to another bite-sized piece from myself and Joelle. I'm David. I'm a project manager on Social Business Wales, and joining me today is Joelle Campbell, who's a market development advisor on Social Business Wales. What we thought we'd do, because we've been talking about the eligibility checker so much in previous pieces of work, is just take you through it with a sort of worked example and just talk about it a little bit as we go through. So this is the homepage that we've been pointing you to. So it's businesswales.gov.wales/coronavirus advice /COVID-19 support business. And what we're looking for here is the ERF Phase 3 Business Development Grant Eligibility Checker. As we talked about in a previous bite-sized piece, we're expecting the Lockdown Business Fund, which is being administered by the local authorities, to be through this eligibility check. So we're just going to do a worked example of it. We're going to imagine it's a social enterprise with less than 9 members of staff, not working in hospitality, tourism or retail. So this is what happens when you click through into it. This is the first page, which sort of gives you some more information about the sort of support that's available. I think it's quite important to highlight this area here, which is the relationship to the Economic Action Plan and to that sort of contract the Welsh Government has got with businesses. So I think it is quite key to consider whether the projects that you're looking at reduce carbon emissions, whether they develop innovation and entrepreneurship, increase exports and trades, or create, and this is probably the key one for most of our clients, create the high quality employment and skills development and fair work, and also potentially develop automation and digitalization.
Really good page to come back to and to just familiarise yourself with in terms of eligibility and what's available. And I think, as we've already mentioned, this fund is going to be open to all types of business, including sole traders. So it's probably going to be in high demand. Previous tranches of this funding went very, very quickly. So if you're even considering this funding, we recommend that you come on this eligibility checker, have a look at potentially what you could be eligible for and what's involved in that application. Because if you are considering it, you really need to be getting your applications in early doors, as is the first come, first served basis.
That's absolutely right. It's meant to be open for 4 weeks. We'd be surprised if it lasts anywhere near that long, to be honest. This is your first question you'd be asked to look at. And basically, are you working within the agricultural sector? Are you, is it solely your core products coming from that sector? If you answer yes to that one, you won't be eligible. So we're going to go no on that. Are you inquiring about a business or organisation in tourism or hospitality sector that suffered due to the pandemic? Well, if you answer yes, you may be able to access some specific extra discretionary funding. But in this worked example, we're going to assume that you're not working in those sectors. Okay, so this is actually the same question that was asked right the way through the eligibility checker on each of the individual tranches of this. So prior to 1st of March 2020, were you receiving payment for goods or services for a business with a base or operating in Wales, and were you paying people through a PAYE system? We're going to assume on this one that the answer to that is yes.
Just a note really that if you have employees, they are expecting you to have a PAYE system set up. And when they talk about employee numbers, it will be full-time equivalents in these follow-up questions.
Yeah, absolutely. And as this one says, it's got to be at least one person in a full-time position. That can include the owner, as long as the owner is being paid by the business. So this is probably the key bit here that is different. This funding is very much about looking forward. It's about developing for the future. It's about making businesses more resilient. So these are the sort of elements that are eligible for being funded. So it's cost of staff and operation, but to work on future development of the business. So that might be something physical, that might be planning. Investing in the digital capability of your business, so it might be enabling online sales, it might be investing in your point of sale technology, again, new processes or systems, same sort of thing. It might be investing in equipment. You might need certain equipment just to make your business more COVID safe, for instance. investing in your staff themselves, and also investing in physical improvements to your facility. So it's very, very important that you have this in place before you make the actual application. This is key.
And I think one thing that the Minister, when he first announced this stream of funding, it wasn't about what you're going to do now and of this period. It was very much of putting your foresight glasses on and having a look of what your business model is going to be like post-COVID. And what you're going to need to do to make your business still operational and sustainable in the who knows when.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to say yes to that. Okay, can you confirm that the grant is not to be used for any of the following? So operational running costs. I mean, this is the key part. This is the area where most businesses are going to be struggling. It's the day-to-day costs, it's the on costs, and this is where I would say, if you do have issues with this, Joelle has put together a really, really good webinar on this, which is available on the Social Business Wales websites. So please do go back and have a look at that. Can't be used for running costs, can't be used for paying off existing debt. No purchases made before the grant applications, and again, another key one, unfortunately, no redundancy costs. So we can say
again,
yes.
the focus is around your Phoenix business model that's going to come out of it, and put in the infrastructure and the tools, the training in place to enable you to run that business once COVID has died down, the pandemic has settled.
Yeah, absolutely. This is all about resilience and potential growth going forward. So does the business or organisation have an annual turnover of at least £50,000? For this, we're going to assume yes.
If you're below 50,000, you're not actually going to be eligible for support under this scheme, so you will have to look at other support schemes that are out there.
Yeah. Does the business meet one of the structural criteria below? So is VAT registered with turnover of above £85,000, or is sector exempt from VAT with turnover above £85,000. There is a link to the VAT exemption stuff there, but I think in most cases with clients that we work with, they will be companies registered in some form with Companies House. Does a business pay employees through a PAYE scheme? We mentioned that earlier on. If you don't, then unfortunately you're not going to be able to qualify for this tranche. And do you agree to sign up to the principles of the Welsh Government's economic contract? There's a lot of details there. This link in blue, the click here details will take you through to that. To be honest, most of the elements of the economic contract are things that we would expect our clients to be invested in anyway. So that shouldn't cause any major problems to any of the Social Business Wales clients, as we understand that at the moment. Do you have 9 or less employees? We can say yes to that. So there you go. It says that you may be able to apply for the grant. There's a summary of the eligibility criteria. There's a summary of the information that you need to have to hand. And again, this is stuff that you can do now. So your VAT number, your company or charity number, the sector the business works in, the number of full-time employees that you've got, your annual turnover, your bank account details, you absolutely need those, a description of the plan development, any quotes for any required purchases, and a high-level plan to deliver the development. You also, where there is match funding required, you do need to provide evidence of that. So bank statements, any confirmations of funding, anything like that.
In terms of the match funding, I think it's worth you putting in there, because if you're between 9 employees, the funding is between 10 and 20% match funding, depending on your number of employees. It's probably worth you finding that match funding and being able to evidence that match funding, but making the case that you should be allowed discretionary allowance to pay a less percentage of match funding, but having it prepared just in case that gets rejected. Absolutely.
So this is the process that you go through. We've shown you just one route through it. I think the key thing is here for your own business, your own organisation, is that you spend a little bit of time on this, going back through the checker. Nothing is recorded here. You can go back, you can try different routes, you can see what fits, what doesn't fit. Work out your plan from this. This gives you the structure that you need to make.
And don't forget that Social Business Wales is here to support you. So please link in with your business advisor. If you don't currently have a business advisor or aren't a client of Social Business Wales, then please do get in touch with us through our website, through our contact number. We have a team of people who can offer specialist and bespoke support to your organisation, but we are here to help, to signpost, and we've got lots of tools and resources on our website.
Absolutely. Email us at sbwinquiries@wales.coop. Have a look at the website, wales.coop, or the Social Business Wales specific website, or give us a ring, 0300 111 5050. That's it for now. I hope it's been helpful, and we'll speak to you again soon. Thank you.